right, now that happened, let's start a Q&A. Who's got some questions? All right, I was way too excited. All right.
My question is, what plans do you have for taking this further? Because this was fucking amazing.
It was conceived as an episodic, the anti-Glee. Terrance and I love things like Tales from the Crypt and things like that. And we wanted to do something that had the kind of feel of Tales from the Crypt, yet had a story that continued from episode to episode as well. Thus, taking the carnies in heaven and making them continual characters that actually had an arc. And doing, though, anthology-like stories. It's based, obviously, on Aesop fables, and there's over 600. There's over 600 Aesop fables. We did 3 of them. That means we have 597 more to go. You guys are fucking crazy. So when I tweet this picture, Terrance will take the next question.
Who are you?
I want you. Touch me.
Well, I guess I'll first say that for those of you that don't know, in Repo, all the comic book panels that sort of act as interstitials in the movie is my artwork. So my background is in the visual arts, and I actually make my living drawing pictures, so it's kind of cool, I guess. My living. But in this case, no, I actually, thankfully, I think we've learned since Repo, and this one didn't require as many comic books to fill in the holes. So we had a really amazing graphic artist named Sean Schofield, who did all the Carnival, all the sideshow costumes. And he also did propaganda posters in Repo. And he's a badass, and all of his posters are on display in the lobby, so I wish I could say I did those, but I'm actually just a fan.
Other questions? Don't be bashful. You guys are embarrassing me now. Over here.
So yeah, going from just being a writer in the middle of nowhere, how did you get started on Repo? What got you out of the community?
Me or Terrance?
Terrance. Answer too. It's just.
How did I get started as a writer?
Starting as a playwright, trying to figure out where to go from.
Well, if it's not abundantly obvious, my apologies, but I'm a fanboy. So I think Darren and I both met each other. That was really obvious, and we sort of I guess we just took it one step further and said, we want to create additional worlds that we want to play in. And it really is just sort of, I guess, we're lucky that however our brains function appeal to you guys. So thank you.
Anyone up top? Yes, up there. Episode 2 of The Devil's Carnival. Ironically enough, I have a movie coming out in 2 weeks called Mother's Day, if you listen to it. Yes, I have that coming out. And seriously though, you know what kind of my philosophy, at least where I'm at right now in my career, I had success very early on with Saw, and then I kind of fell off the cliff, and have been falling since then, and I love the fall. And I love what we're doing here with this. You know why? Because it's punk rock filmmaking. It's crazy. It's cool. It's not safe. And I think I get such a thrill of that not safe feeling. You don't understand. We were sitting there doing shots, terrified about what happens if the projector breaks, the light doesn't go on, the sound doesn't go on in time. You never know from venue to venue how things are going to go. And that rush, that feeling is infectious, and it's like a drug. So I'm addicted. I'll take another hit of Z. Well, thank you. I gotta pick somebody.
That girl.
He's dreamy. You know, it's sad that Anthony couldn't be in this. He was in the UK, and we had no money. We filmed this thing in about 7 days, so we had no time to film it, nor did we have the budget to fly Anthony over. But from Repo, from the thing of working in Repo, he's awesome. I still remember and I still go back to the date. Well, first off, did you guys like the Repo documentary? Even thanks Spooky Dan for producing that, and he had 75 hours of Repo behind the scenes, and you guys saw about 11 minutes of it. Okay, guys, let's lower the lights. Let's watch the 75 hours. But anyway, in it, you see it kind of from the beginning all the way to the end. You see me svelte with a full head of hair and happy, and then you see me fat and like crying in a bathtub with a bottle of vodka by the end of it. But Anthony, going back to Anthony, he was awesome. Like the first day he came in and auditioned, you know, it's a funny story is the person who auditioned before Anthony Stewart Head was Barry Boswick, and so Terrance and I were fanboying out a little bit because Barry Boswick was in there and he's just singing, and we're all excited. We're like, oh, this is awesome. We're high-fiving each other, and then 2 seconds later, Anthony walked in, and as much as we loved Barry, Anthony was just, I had a man crush on him. And I was just, that's what we did, man.
Yes. He actually came to us and said, I want to play God.
Anyone that has ever met Paul Servino at any of our road shows knows that he is God. And so there really was no question on that one.
And all I'll say to add to that is, if and when episode 2, we can figure out how to pull it off, you'll get to see a lot more heaven.
And part of what this is, guys, is an experiment. This whole event, this whole thing tonight was an experiment to see if we could do it. And a lot of Hollywood, a lot of the filmmaking industry is basically telling you what you can't do. You can't make this movie, you can't do this, you can't do that. And we heard we can't enough. And so Terrance and I were like, let's just fucking do it. Fuck everyone, let's just go do it. Even 3 weeks ago, we sold like 1% of the tickets of the whole event. We were like, fuck, what do we just do? It's too late to back out. Like, what are we going to do? And then we started showing up, and you crazy guys are here dressed up and acting like fools. A couple more questions. Okay, there's 2 maybe back here, so I kind of point this general direction. Someone can stand up and ask something.
Yeah, this guy. What was your experience like working with Paris Hilton, and would you work with her again?
Yeah, you know what? I loved Paris, and I would work with her again. She gets a bad rap, I think, and partially it's her fault. I think the other thing is, though, is that, you know, from the time that we got to spend with her, she can't go anywhere without 1,000 photographers around her. And we all do stupid shit all day. Like, for example, I'm in the back there, and if I accidentally fart, if I accidentally break a window, whatever, there's 1,000 photographers back there photographing it at that exact time, and it gets posted on a website, and we all laugh at it. But we all fart, we all go to the bathroom. And I think the thing with Paris is that, again, every single moment of her life is videotaped and caught. And I always use the same story when I talk about Paris. Is the moment we were recording the album for Repo, and we went outside, and she had a cigarette, and she was holding it behind her. She had it kind of hidden in her palm. and a van comes by and takes 100 pictures. And about 2 hours later, it was on, I mean, it wasn't Perez Hilton, I forgot what site it was, but it says, Paris Hilton caught smoking dope in back alley. She wasn't smoking dope, she was smoking a cigarette. It wasn't a back alley, it was a recording studio. Yet everyone logs on the web and they see that. And that's how they base their opinion of her. So, you know, I had nothing but great things. She was great for us. She was one of the team when we did Repo. She stayed in the same hotel as Terrance and I. She had no entourage. She was by herself. She was just one of us. She hung out at the bar with us. So she was cool. I have nothing bad to say about Paris Hilton. Back here still.
Can Terrance scream Graves?
No.
That's God's jurisdiction.
I don't know what to say. Over here somewhere. Yes. Good question. I have no idea. I think, you know, I love movies like Brazil that are just so crazy and so out there, yet they're kind of, you buy into them. And I think with us is that what excited me so much about Repo and getting to work with Terrance again on Devil's Carnival is the ability to create a world. This is some place that no one lives, but you want to live in. I think what's cool about Repo is some place that I want to live in. I want to go to Sanitarium Square. I want to hang out at Jinko. And I think with this carnival, it's a place that you want to live in. And you try to put it with real kind of humanistic beats. You just find those moments that are kind of real. Terrance?
And the writing of this, I guess, I'm not sure where it began exactly, other than wanting to play in this world, as Darren said. But I began by reading all of Aesop's fables, and I sort of tagged a bunch that I thought were interesting, and also that I thought could be good ciphers for a cinematic story. And I think in this one, I hope you get a blend of the more over-the-top one, in the sense of the dog in the shadow, which is a cool and very familiar tale. But the one that I think is sort of the emotional core of the whole thing is grief, as due. And I think it's because that story isn't the obvious moral. Like, it's not the don't steal, don't trust bad guys. It's you will self-destruct if you hang on to grief. And at some point, if you keep grieving, you're sinning. And so to me, I was like, well, that's kind of rad. And so that's, I don't know if that answers your question, but sort of finding that balance between the fun, getting to watch, the scorpion throw knives at tomorrow, and then at the same time getting a character like John who ultimately has to let go of his grief to move on.
We'll do a couple more questions up here at the top. The wrench, no, other guy, no, you sit down. Okay, you guys can talk. Down here, please. No, I'm joking. Sorry, go ahead. Terrance and I have been talking, and whether we do this or not, this might just be us bullshitting with each other, but we're talking about on episode 2, starting it as a stage show. And letting people come out and trying to get everyone back, trying to get Emily Autumn and Paul Servino to do it in a black box theater and kind of workshop it for the week leading up to filming. And so basically for a week only, a week engagement, a 2-week engagement, you can see episode 2 as a stage show. And then directly from that, we go directly into filming. Now, would you come back and be in the stage show?
I'd love to be on stage for episode you.
Do we have any Jinxie fans in the audience here tonight? Anyone seen our YouTube videos? Okay, where's Spooky Dan?
Right here.
Come up here, Spooky. Everyone, Spooky Dan! Everyone in the audience, she has these crazy YouTube videos that she basically teaches everyone a Japanese word of the day. I would like, can we film one for your YouTube channel right now?
Right now.
You guys, I can film you all, is it okay? Shut up. Terrance, okay wait, let's pick something for it. What's the word?
666.
666!
666. Well, Minasan, Ohio. Can I get Ohio? Thanks for coming out. Our word, our Jinxie JWoww is 666. The Japanese word is roku, roku, roku. Let's do that one more time. Roku, roku, roku. Good job. I love 666. I mean, roku, roku, roku. Roku, roku, roku brings evil omens. And the more evil, the better. And I get roku, 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 I go, yeah! And, you know, when I'm in a boat, instead of singing row, row, row your boat, I sing roku, roku, roku your boat gently down the river! Can I get you guys to sing that with me? Roku, roku, roku your boat gently down the river. Thanks, guys. And now for this next part of our Jinxie JWoww, I need some volunteers of who wants to be in a Jinxie YouTube video. Let's see. I want Miss Bloody Dress. This guy right here, and
Stand up, where's your...
let's see who really, really wants to be in it. So I'm gonna ask you guys, what's your favorite thing about Roku, Roku, Roku? Like me, you know, slot machines, Roku, Roku, Roku. So let you guys think about that for a second. And who's ready? Alright. So, what's your favorite thing about Roku, Roku, Roku?
The goddamn devil!
What's your favorite thing about what?
The goddamn devil!
About what?
The goddamn devil!
About
Roku, Roku, Roku!
what's your favorite thing about Roku, Roku, Roku?
Charles.
Akuma. Akuma! Roku, Roku, Roku. Yeah! And for those of you that don't know, I did a previous Jinxie JWoww. Akuma means the devil! Now Miss Pink Tutu,
I cheated.
come on up on stage. Very ethereal walk. And what is your favorite thing about Roku, Roku, Roku? I'd have to say, the Devil's Carnival! Roku, Roku, Roku. The Devil's Carnival! Roku, Roku, Roku. Thank you! Thanks guys for being a part of my Jinxie JWoww. I'm going to put this up on YouTube. Nice!
Two more questions, and then we have to call it night. Yes, over here, the one flailing their hands madly. Yes.
How was it working with like great Emily Autumn?
Emily Autumn is my absolute favorite person in the entire world, and it's Emily Autumn was the first person we actually had attached to the show. We found Emily maybe 6 months before we started filming. I don't know how many. Have you guys all seen the 11-minute Emily Autumn trailer that we shot? I called Emily up and I basically professed my love to her. I was like, I have a crush on you. I think you're awesome. And we flew around here to shoot this 11-minute trailer. And I think I'll let Terrance talk about the first real experience with Emily Autumn, but it was pretty awesome. She's probably been the one person that's been with us from the very beginning that we've informed and kind of kept in the loop on every single aspect of the thing. But go ahead. You want to talk about your first meeting?
Well, firstly, I'm a huge fan of hers. I mean, she really is an artist, and you meet talented people and then you meet artists, and it's just something different. Like she's on a different wavelength, and it really is an inspiration. So, as a songwriter, realizing that somebody that I sort of really look up to was possibly going to be singing a song I wrote was both awesome, but also very nerve-wracking. So it was kind of in some ways normally you audition an actor, and I felt more like I was auditioning my song for her. But she was in LA, and it was a really cool laid-back experience where we were in a living room, sitting at a piano after a shot of tequila, and she sang "Trip Goes the Scorpion's Tail," kind of for me, and it was magical. And thankfully it all worked out because she liked the song enough to come back.
One of the things that I'm really excited about is Terrance has already written a couple of other episodes. And one of the ones that's upcoming, which I laughed hysterically and it was just so badass, is Emily Autumn and Clown from Slipknot have a song together, a duet. Really? So that's... Well, first off, before we stop it, who doesn't have a soundtrack? We're going to do a little contest here. Who doesn't have a soundtrack but wants one? Okay, hold on. Who's going to come up on stage and sing one verse of their favorite song from Devil's Carnival to everyone out there?
Deborah, do it. Do it, Deborah.
You, get up here. Now, guys, I'm going to do some shameless self-promotion here and just promote this. These are signed and numbered. We're only making 5,000 of them. When we sell the last 5,000, they're done. So this is number, I don't know what this number is, 2034. So, okay, first off, what song are you going to sing? You're going to go first. What are you going to sing? Just the first verse. What's your name first off? Lindsay, everyone give Lindsay a hand for coming up here.
Stage fright.
No one look at her, everyone look down. Okay, I'm joking, everyone stay right there.
He said, now hush love, here's your gown. There's the bed, the lantern's down. But I don't wanna go to sleep. In all my dreams I drown. Captain, Captain, I will do your chores. I will warm your cot at night, and I will mop your floors. Scold me, hold me, I'll be yours to keep, but please don't make
It doesn't matter. Thank you. Okay, who do we have here? What's your name? Christian, what are you going to sing for us? 666, and that is, what's that? All right, here we go.
I feel like I'm having a stroke. We're going to calculate later.
666. 66. It's on board 66. Okay, whoever's having a conniption fit in the back over here. Yes.
That's you.
About all the cool people you get for this project. You've got musicians, really good actors, really awesome musicians, and people like Hannah Mintz, who are world famous on YouTube. I mean, these are not. You can't just be like, oh, go. Here's my casting agency. Send the word out. Like, you obviously you won Emily Autumn. You brought it. Paul Sorvino came to you.
Yeah.
How do you get like all these great people?
So, well, this is a great question to end the night on because, and this is going to lead into more kind of just, I guess, my mantra about filmmaking. We didn't have a casting director. We didn't have a studio. We didn't have any of the kind of frills that go with movie making. We had a bunch of dudes and some very attractive women, and we basically had an idea. And to me, The Devil's Carnival is not a movie. It's not an episode. It's not music. It's an idea. And that idea is that as an artist, we can do anything we want without someone telling us what we can or can't do. You can do it yourself. You don't need someone to say and validate your art and say, yes, you can do this. Yes, go off and do this. I don't need that. Terrance and I made a decision about a year ago that we were going to make this project, and we went off and we did it. And we didn't ask for permission, we just did it. We didn't call a casting director. What we did is, we called Hannah Jinx directly. We called Paul Sorvino directly. We called Sean Patrick Flannery directly. We didn't go through Emily Autumn's representatives, we called her directly. And what I realized, I think what we realized is...
And when he says call, we're talking about reaching out to people on Facebook.
Yeah. But what I'm getting at is that there was no like this idea they put out there. Oh, you have to go through the agent. The agent's got to call the manager's got to call the lawyer. If you have something cool and something you believe in, if you have something that's different and strange and unique and that you believe in, you can make it. You can get it done. You can be in this theater. You can show it to all these fucking people. There was not one actor, not one, that we had to play the game with, that we had to do the dance with. I'll give you an example. So Emily Autumn was the first person that we cast, and the only person that I went to for Painted Doll. Dayton Cali, who I'm a huge fan of. Dayton Cali played the ticket keeper in the movie. He's on two of my favorite shows, Deadwood and Sons of Anarchy. And there you go. And so I found his information, and I called him directly, and I said, listen, I've been a huge fan of Deadwood since it came on. I love Sons of Anarchy. Please, we wrote this part for you. And the next thing I knew, he was coming in to record the song like 2 days later. There was none of that political bullshit that I was led to believe you had to go through. If you have something that you love, if you have something you believe in, you can make it. Whether that be a script you want to write, a painting you want to do, a movie you want to star in, you can do it. The only one that's stopping you is you. There is no man, and that was my whole thing. When we did Repo, we were all against the man. Damn the man for keeping us back. There is no man. It's you. You're the only one stopping you, and I think that this was an experiment. The Devil's Carnival was an experiment. Can we fill a theater? Can we get you guys to come back and do it? Can we do it with just our friends? And you guys are here right now, so I think we accomplished what we set out to do. One last thing, and it's how we're able to do this is this whole thing is self-financed between myself and one other partner out of Florida. And the way we were able to do it is the soundtrack. And we have the soundtracks for sale out there at $20. They're signed a number by Terrance and myself. And I encourage you all, we're going to stay and we're going to sign anything that you guys get from out there. Any merchandise from Devil's Carnival, we'll stay up here all night, whatever. We're going to sit here on the stage and we're going to sign it. I encourage you to please support us and buy the soundtrack, because that's how we're able to make episode 2. So if you liked it, go buy a soundtrack or a t-shirt or a poster, I don't care, just anything. And the last thing I'll say is, talk about us. If you liked us, talk about it. If you hate us, talk about it. Say how bad we are. I don't give a fuck. Just talk about us.